Hello, I'm back again with my fresh cut Christmas tree design, and I wanted to show you a technique on how I aged this old red truck. What I did initially was when I base coated it, I applied one loose streaky coat of paint, and I let the background color show through here and there so that it already looked a little vintage and a little worn. So what I'm going to do now, I have Royal Majestic's little 6 short shader brush. I like this brush because it's called a short shader because the bristles are shorter than a regular flat. So it's nice when you're working in small areas. I find you have a lot of control when you use this brush. So I'm going to load it like a side load float. And the first color that I'm going to use is charcoal gray. So what I'll do is kind of work again on little sections of the truck, and I'll just apply a side load float, and then every once in a while kind of chisel up with this brush, and I'm just going to skip it along. So that means I'm going to leave some spots with no paint showing. I'll flip this brush over, work a little bit of color on the door. So you can see how that just starts to distress the door panel. So I'm going to reload my brush in the same color. So again, this is Royal's little short shader. Work little sections at a time. And always kind of curve it into the shape of the body part that you're working on. I just went over a little bit, so I've got Royal's little fabric brush. I just wet it and blot it, and then just remove any excess paint. Just kind of cleans up the edges. And then I'll continue to work. So you can kind of see that this truck is really separated, the body sections, by rust. And it's just building colors. So this charcoal gray kind of makes it look worn, dulls out some areas. Once it's dry, you can go in and deepen here and there a little bit more. You don't really have to worry about the roof or the hood, or the roof of the truck, and actually the hood. A little bit of color on the hood, but it's going to be topped with some snow at the very end. So you can put a little bit on. So that's still with the charcoal gray. So what I'll do now is clean my brush, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of black plum. This is Deco Arts acrylics. And I'll add just a little more color. I can go over top here and there what I already put on. And hopefully you can see how every once in a while I just kind of pull up with my brush just to create some distressed areas, so that you want some spots a little larger, some a little smaller. So I'm just putting a little more black plum. So you can see how nicely this small little 6 short shader works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some Tuscan Red, which is a really nice, rich red. So I've created some dull and some aged areas, but now I want a few areas that aren't quite so worn. That would be sort of the original color. That's looking a little bit bright. It will dull when it dries. So I always have fun creating aging and rust. As you think some areas are really weathered and worn, and other areas are still shiny and a little newer. Well, not new, but not so weathered, like the original color. I'm just going to reload into a little more Tuscan Red. I'll just work this color on my palette just a little bit more so it's not quite so strong. So you can take advantage of this color for areas that you really want to pop and kind of separate some of the body sections. Where it's dry, you can always go back and add a little bit more of your darks, your lights. Just build your colors. So maybe just a little more of the red. I want to make this part just pop a little bit more. Maybe a little bit around the window. And I know we'll put some snow on the hood, but just for the visual for the camera, you can see as soon as I put a little bit of this Tuscan Red on the hood, it just helps to really make it pop and come to life. So I think it's looking pretty good. If I wanted to go back in with my original charcoal gray, I could darken a few of these little rust spots. You can switch to a little liner brush if you want. I'm just using sort of the tip corner of this brush. And just darken the odd area a little bit more. So nice and easy. Easy way to distress this old red truck.